Hey everybody, it's Garrett here with NordStick. I just want to show you some common things that I'm getting question-wise for people who have got the NordBench Pro to help them get set up and have the best experience possible. Through this video, I'm just going to show you some setup tips, some ways to adjust the NordBench, and then preferred use case for a lot of things, just to make sure that when you're using the NordBench, you're using it properly, and it should answer most of your questions that you're experiencing. So this is it stored vertically. There's two ways to do this. The one is like I have, where the pin is in the second hole. Another thing people have been doing, and it works just as well, is putting these legs down and putting it in the first hole and then storing it vertically as well. Both create the same result. I prefer the first way, but it's completely up to you with how you store it. You just want to make sure it's stored vertically like this so it lowers the floor space that it takes up. Second, starting at the back, if you feel that the NordBench in any way is wobbly, if it's a foot plate related thing, you feel the foot plate wobbly, you're going to tighten this long bolt here 6 inches in length, and that will limit side to side movement and forward and back play of the foot plate. If you feel when you're using it there's torsional rotation, this 3-inch bolt will be the one that you want to tighten, and you want to tighten that very tight. Now, just know when you do tighten it, it is going to make it a little stiffer when you adjust it, but if you want it to be more stable, it has to be stiffer. It's just how things work. At the extreme, if you want something really stiff, you put a weld on it and then it can't move. If you want something to be really mobile, you let it move freely, be really loose. So find somewhere on the spectrum that accommodates how you want this to work for you. Second, since we're behind the foot plate, here are the legs. So you'll have a push pin on the side. You just push that in, and then they slide down. Make sure you hear that snap when you're using them. And then for that, this top hole is where you'll lock it in. Make sure it's secure. Then it's a perfectly flat 4-inch platform for hybrid bar exercises, forward step downs, lateral step downs, and a few others. When you're going to use slant board mode, you're going to put the legs down and you're going to have it attached to the bottom hole. Now, if you're on a surface that's soft, like turf, grass, or somewhere that's potentially uneven, make sure this pin doesn't go in the hole. You want to make sure this edge is flush on the ground. That way, the NordBench won't tip. This hole is designed to lock into place if you're on a surface that has some elevation that's a little bit softer, but if you're on a hard surface, you want to push past that hole so that it's flush on the ground and comfortable at that 25-degree angle for slant board squats. Next, the rollers. So if you're doing slant board squats, you want them out of the way. You just pull this pin, they simply fall out of the way. When you're using them for back extensions, Nordic curls, or split squats, you put the pin in and it'll keep them erect. There's 3 holes, 1, 2, 3. The lowest position is ideal for Nordic curls. The highest position is ideal for back extensions. And then if you want to increase the stability of the foot plate, like you have a height you're going to be at consistently, these purple pins have textured rim on them so that you can screw it in and then secure it. But when you adjust it, unscrew it, pull it out, and then it should move freely. And then once you lock into somewhere you like, you can over tighten it and it'll limit the wobble. If you would also like to reduce the wobble even further, you can tighten this bolt at the base here and it'll prevent some of this side-to-side wobble. I personally like to keep that just so it moves freely when I put it down for a slant board squat. If you're storing the NordBench under your bed, you'll put it like this, you'll pull this pin out and then it'll be low. If you would like it even lower, you can take out this purple pin and lay it down flat to get that 9-inch clearance so it'll fit under a low bed. So now moving up, I'm going to put this at a 45-degree angle like you're doing back extensions, and now I'm going to turn the bench slightly so you can see this, and I'm going to pull this out of the way so you have better line of sight. So you'll see a purple pin and a red pin. When you go to adjust the NordBench length, you're going to partially unscrew this purple pin and partially unscrew this red pin. You're going to then pull the purple pin, turn and rotate so the purple's outside of that slot. You're going to come to the handles and you're going to slide it up and down like so. We removed the nylon insert and we replaced it with a custom metal weld on the base internally in here so that there was little wobble at baseline. If we wanted to completely remove that wobble, we would have had to decrease the space and then it would have been impossible to adjust. So there was some give and take. It is going to be a little stiff in adjustment, but that's intentional because we wanted it to be stable. Once you find the position you like, you're going to turn that pin, get it in the slot, and wait for that powerful snap sound. I'm going to then turn the red pin and then turn the purple pin to tighten that down and reduce the side-to-side wobble. If you would like this to slide and glide more smoothly, because it is metal on metal, you're welcome to put some WD-40 in here. It'll help it slide. It'll help lubricate the system, but not essential. It's just a personal preference. And then when you go to adjust again, to disengage the lock, you're gonna pull up slightly, and then you'll be able to turn that pin and slide like so. And then you'll hear that snap and it'll be locked into place. A few more things here. If you feel rotational wobble, it also could be coming from under the underside. There's 2 bolts here. Tighten the bottom, tighten the top. That's what everybody does. But when you tighten the top, it creates more space for the bottom. So you wanna continue tightening back and forth, usually 3 times each, going top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, until there's no space left. We ship these welds partially angled out, and these screws turn it in tight so it's snug on the mainframe. So you have to do that a few times. Next, this silver piece. So you see how mine is able to stay in whatever position I want? That's because I tighten this bolt right here. Now, if you do a quarter turn, it'll be stiff like this, but still easy to move. If you tighten it even further, it'll be even more stiff. You have to find a place that's best for you. We ship these floppy because that was customer's preference, but if you would like to make it more stiff like I prefer, you can tighten that bolt as well. When you're laying it flat, the silver piece goes down towards the foot plate. That way, the NordBench connects like this, and the magnet engages with the metal beam so that when you pick it up, it grabs it and it wheels nice and smoothly. If you put this the other way, that metal part will not engage with the magnet, and then it'll move more freely. So for flat mode, you go like that. For 8 and 15 degrees, you're gonna be using these 2 things here, and you're gonna be lining it up like so. Further one is 8 degrees, and the closer one is 15 degrees. And then you obviously have 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and dip going up. Next, I want to talk about the length here. This is it in shortest position. That's when it's most compact for storage, but it's important when you're doing dip or any of the movement that the handles are not in front of this. So if they are, you want to extend this out. There's 4 holes, and you should see stop laser cut into this. Tell you when you're at the 4th one. That'll lock it in place. The longer it is, the more stable it is. And then lastly, this U should be facing out. We flip it and ship it backwards so that it's in a smaller box for shipping to lower shipping costs. But what you'll do is you'll unbolt these, pull this handle out, flip this around, and put the handle back in and bolt it back in. So that way you get the U and the extra length, extra stability. So that's everything with the NordBench to get the best experience possible. If you have any additional questions or something just doesn't feel right, feel free to reach out to Garrett at thenordstick.com, and we'll be happy to hop on a call and work through any issue that you may be facing. Excited for your success with the NordBench.